What is the significance of your patent?
Well, the patent's very important to us because when electronic signatures became legally admissible through the European legislation and the American legislation, that happened about 5 years ago. But the legal guys didn't really look at what it was going to take to be able to defend the signature in court. Yes, an electronic signature is legally admissible. In fact, pretty well any device can capture a signature which will be legally admissible. But when it's challenged in court, you'll find that it's difficult to defend unless you're doing things in a very precise way. And that's what we've protected with our patent.
How can signatures be challenged in court?
Well, it's very similar to other types of electronic evidence, really. If you look, for example, at speed guns and how you challenge those in court, you claim, for example, that they're not working accurately, they didn't collect the speed information accurately. And you do the same with the signature device. The signature device is being relied upon to prove the identity of the signatory, and that's how you can take that person and you can get them to be bound to that commitment. If you're challenging the legal evidence coming from an electronic signature device, you just challenge the integrity of the data, and you say that it can't be relied upon to make that decision as to whether it was the signatory or not. So it's challenging the evidence, and it's challenging the integrity of the data.
How can you ensure that you can meet the challenge in court?
Well, what we do is we split it down twofold, really. We look first of all at the accuracy of the information that we're collecting, and secondly we have an audit trail to prove that the device was working properly. When we're looking at the accuracy of the information, we're looking at the X and Y coordinates in time, which is the signature data as it's being collected, and we're binding those on the pad with the time and date, the reason for signing, and the serial number from the device itself. So we're doing all of that on the pad as a standalone measurement device, and then we're transmitting that off to the computer. That's in contrast with other devices that collect some of the information on the pad but don't have the processing power to do the rest of it, and then send that off to the PC for the rest of the information to be added. And if you're doing that, you're allowing inaccuracies to occur. You're using two different pieces of equipment, and it's much more difficult to defend. Some of the experts who've done research into this have looked at that. Dr. Richard Guest, who's on the ISO committee, and Professor Steve Uglow, who's the advisor for the British government on legal admissibility for electronic evidence. And they've said if you introduce those inaccuracies, then you leave the door wide open to challenge and having the signature thrown out. So we've tied that up, and then what we've done also is we've taken audit data, so we've got a unique serial number on the pad, and what we're saying is we know which pad the serial number was taken on. It's regularly audited to check for correct function, and we can look back at our records, and if challenged later, we can prove the device worked correctly.
What is the current status on your patent applications?
Well, we're granted in the UK, which is very important because it's a very tough jurisdiction to get this type of patent granted in. And we're pending in the EU, we're pending in the US, and we're pending in China. So we're feeling very confident about those jurisdictions because the UK was really the pathfinder for us, and we got that.